good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. My name is Kanipa Makwa, Standing Bear, Soda, Tri Fishing Lake First Nation, Saskatchewan, Canada, Treaty 4 Territory, Anishinaabe, 60 Scoop Survivor, published author, United States Swimming National Champion. And welcome to We Are the Medicine Circle, which really implies that we are the medicine circle. Says that like nobody's really in charge. So it may appear on the outside that I'm leaving this thing. I am absolutely not leaving this thing. I am in the service of this circle, and I'm in the service of the Great Spirit. Yes. And so that's exciting. We're on a little bit early today here in Europe. I try to keep it kind of the same time over here so people can get kind of used to it and kind of plan their day around it if they want to join us. But I'm heading out early today, so I want to get on here, hop on with you, see you all, and just tell you guys that that I love you, and that's really important. It's one of the most important things that we say all day. And what we mean by love is I'm not wanting anything from you, but everything for you. It's we live in a world that's very, very dyslexic, and so love is now like a greed thing. It's like a sexual, lustful thing, but really is I want you to live your very best life. And so there's no other way that we can do it than sitting together in a circle, praying and meditating. That's how we start. Everything but starts with spirit. So yeah, a couple of the house announcements. If you notice, I'm going back and forth here. We are coming off two platforms. We are coming off over here. Facebookers over here is YouTube. Stan. I forgot my YouTube channel. Hold on. Standing Bear, the author channel YouTube page, and so what we do over here on social media is archived over there on YouTube. So please like and subscribe over there. It's just a library of what we do here. That's it's archived. There's shorts, there's flute playing, there's storytelling, there's all this beautiful stuff over there. So please go over there and like and subscribe and just have fun with that. Just hey man, got a day off, just kind of scroll through and just take a look or something like that. So anyway, okay, so you know what? I need a lighter. So hold on, let me get a lighter. No lighter. Okay, sorry about that. I'm disappearing on the live. Sorry about that. Look, I don't know where you are, but lighters just disappear. Lighters just disappear. So around here. So anyway, it's very exciting. Coming to you live from Plauen, Germany. It's East Germany. It's the old East Germany. So there's a lot of remnants of the Cold War and all that around here, like the architecture. But yeah, let's start out with a little smudge. And as always, we are going to ask for a volunteer from the circle to kind of keep this smoke going throughout the morning meditation, after the meditation, night meditation, wherever you are, because in remembrance for honoring the Catholic residential school children who never came home. We want to keep them in our prayers. The teaching goes, it is the smoke that connects us all. So the smoke will help bring them home. Also, so thank you for that. So good. Give me a little thumbs up. Give me a little heart if we can keep this smoke going throughout the morning meditation. Please, thank you for that. Yeah. And also, we want to thank the grandmother who brought our this prayer to us. She's grandmother out in Vancouver, British Columbia, and she popped on here a little while ago. Actually, a couple days ago, I spoke to her, just text message, and a couple days ago, she checks in, so she's doing well, and I thanked her again for that prayer of remembering our Indigenous our Indigenous children family members who never came home. I have family members who never came home from residential school. So, okay, so all right, so let's open up with a really good prayer this morning. That's how we do it. The old ones say if it doesn't begin with prayer, then it doesn't begin. If it doesn't begin with spirit, then it doesn't begin. If it doesn't begin with offering, then it doesn't begin. So let us begin in a really good and beautiful way. And in Kitchimana 2, Chi Megwit for our breath, Chi Megwit for our circle, Chi Megwit for our day, Chi Megwit for our life. We come here today. We mean no harm in what we do, but we are grateful for our last breath and we are hopeful for our next, and we live in that place in between. We come here to learn how to walk in a good way, in a sacred way, in a humble way, in a holy way. So thank you. Thank you, Creator. We may come here for a lot of reasons, and that is good, but the first reason always is life. We celebrate life. That's why we are here. And we don't celebrate our own personal life because that would be selfish. What we want to learn to be is selfless. We want to learn to be humble with a beautiful understanding that all life is beautiful, important, and powerful, not just our own. What I celebrate in you, I celebrate in myself. What I fail to celebrate in you, I fail to celebrate in myself. So we come here and we celebrate life. We celebrate the sacred hoop. We celebrate all nations, tribes, and circles, especially those nations, tribes, and circles that do not look like the two-legged, like the standing nation, the ones that offer the world breath. We say thank you to the swimming nations and the fish nations, the ones who teach us how to live in harmony and balance with the water. The winged nations, ones who teach us how to live in harmony and balance with the wind and air. We say thank you to the creepy crawlers and the slithers and the ones who teach us how to stay close and grounded to Mother Earth. We say thank you to the four-legged nations, circles, and tribes. For we understand that you offer us and teach us so much to and for our humanity. We say thank you. And of course, to other two-legged nations, circles, and tribes, for we understand and acknowledge that you are our teachers as well. And this makes our ears and our hearts very happy. We come here and we celebrate the life of those things that give us life: air, water, fire, earth. We come here to make good relations with all of those. We come here to make good relations with the ones that have come before us, our ancestors, for they lived in accordance with spiritual law. The bears, the beavers, the foxes, the wolves, the otters, the panthers, the eagles, they lived the way they were supposed to live, and the way we are supposed to live in accordance with spiritual law. So we say thank you for those that did. And we acknowledge that some of our two-legged ancestors were hurt, wounded, abused, and traumatized, and they passed that along to us. And we understand this is a time of great suffering, great pain. And we also acknowledge this is a time of healing. And that healing is a process, and along this process, it's okay not to be okay. And as this healing develops, we begin to understand the knowledge that what they offered us, the pain, the suffering, the abuse, the trauma, was never for us to carry. It was all about them. And we don't heal just for ourselves. Again, we don't want to be selfish. We want to be selfless. The way we live our lives is our offering to the next seven generations, for we only borrow this earth from our children, and our children are only loaned to us. So we live at this beautiful place, the intersection between two unseen worlds. And for this, we are grateful. That's grateful for the opportunity, time to break the cycle, to break the chains of sadness, loneliness, depression, violence, drinking, drugging, all these things. It is the best opportunity and time to live right now. When we heal ourselves, we heal the ancestors, the ones who wounded us. And then we offer that healing to the next 7 generations. There couldn't be any better time for this. And we acknowledge this. And the ancestors were wise. They left a path for us to follow. But they said you can only see it with a good heart, with clear intentions. That means coming here and thanking the ancestors and wanting the next 7 generations to live a good life without the pain that we are offering them, without the pain that we refuse to heal ourselves. The road will be made, the prayer will be seen, and the healing begins. And on this road, we call it the red road, the road of wellness, the road of all life, the road of unity and love. And so we come here and we thank those that come before us. And there are teachings on this path: humility, love, truth, honesty, respect, wisdom, and courage. So we thank the Great Spirit. We are here to make good relations, both seen and unseen. So we are here. Everything begins with spirit. So we begin with a spiritual, building good relations, nurturing, loving relationship with humility, love, and truth, and all the others. That's why we are here. We are all beautiful flowers. We all bloom from the inside. We're all different sizes, shapes, and colors, ages, but that doesn't matter. We all come here from all directions and all tribes. And that is a good thing. When we understand our place in the circle, that is a good thing. And we will begin to notice the first prayer at the center of the universe, the prayer of harmony and balance. And we understand we are come here to be the peacemakers. We come here to be the peacemakers. So thank you for this time and thank you for this time. Oh. Okay, well, all right. Well, good morning, everyone. Again, my name is Kanipo Mac Watts, standing bear, Soda Tribe Fishing Lake First Nation, Saskatchewan, Canada, Treaty 4 Territory, Anishinaabe, 60 Scoop survivor, published author, and filmmaker, and to this resume too. Very honored. We are coming to you live from East Germany, Plauen, Germany, and very 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 exciting. Just a little. We are here on my European tour, having a great time here. You know what? We had a beautiful men's circle last night, and there was a young gentleman here who's been praying about this for a really long time. There's a spiritual circle here. That's how we got in touch, and they said, yeah, we can bring these things, and the teachings and the ceremonies. And I said, okay, that's great, that's good. So let's do it. And part of that was bringing men's circle here, and so they're not used to that here. The men here, very honored that I was able to help facilitate the start of this men's group. And it's a very, very beautiful, very powerful. We did it in a more Indigenous Turtle Island traditional way. That's what grandfather taught me. And then, the boys, the men sit with the grandfathers, the girls and women sit with the grandmothers. That's part of our spiritual understanding that we just have different teachings, right? We are different people, right? Right. And so that's just the way it is. It's not better or worse. It's not like anything like that. We are all beautiful people. That's the thing. So, uh, oh, we have someone from Fishing Lake First Nation. Woo! All right. All right. There we go. Fantastic. I love you. This is great. So yeah. So a couple things before we begin in earnest. There's a couple basic concepts, and one of them is hollow bones. And so we understand that there's a life force out there. It's not really my verbiage, but we understand that there's life out there. That life has a force. That means there's a beautiful flow and energy that flows through it. It looks like many different things. It looks like the sunrise, the sunset, the seasons, the birds, the moons, the waters, the fires. Everything has a different representation of that. And our job here is to connect to this life force. And as a species and as a people, we have forgotten how to connect. In our old traditional indigenous communities, that's all we did. Our life was surrounded by only connecting to those things that brought us life. And that is beautiful. And so we are now in this, and this is just contrast. So we live in a world that is self-defeating, right? It keeps us separated, it keeps us divided, it keeps us all this distracted, divided, diversion, discredit, all this stuff. Lateral violence and like all this stuff, and it's designed to do that. That's all that is. And so we come here to these circles and we talk about these things. We talk about hollow bones and how to connect to hollow bones. And really that's all we do. And you just connect to each other, connect to hollow bones. Hollow bones has really two parts when you really break it down. So there's a life force there. So let's talk about the sunrise. So the sunrise, beautiful beginnings every day. This morning, tomorrow morning when you wake up, be grateful. The old ones that wake up, take a bag, take a pinch of tobacco, and just say thank you. Everything begins with gratitude. So I'm a big sunrise guy. So I wake up in the morning, grab my coffee, and then I do my opening prayers, and then I do my own morning meditation, right? Like I do a little smudging, and I just think about all those things that I am grateful for, right? Um, and then when the sun comes up, I just, that's a part of it. Like my whole morning is just one big ceremony, right? My whole life is one big ceremony. Leonard Peltier said, yeah, my life is a sun dance. I get it. He gets it, right? So everything we do is surrounded around connecting to this thing called life, not disconnecting, not discrediting, not fighting, not fighting with our brothers and sisters and who's right, who's wrong, who's better, who's worse, who's doing this, who's doing that, who's not doing this, who's not. No, see, and so if we come here, I sit here with the sunrise. And the sunrise is not an event, what we're supposed to do. And you can write this down. We're supposed to carry the morning sun with me. How is your light shining today? That's our introduction, right? How is your light shining today, right? We offer gratitude and thank you for life. Life is most important, right? So if we don't get disturbed or bothered by other little things going on, these little distractions, and these people who don't understand how important the value of life is because they're distracted by the other things. So we give thank you to the sunrise. Is not an event. The sunrise is a way of life. So we want to carry that new light, that new beginnings. We are here to be the peacemakers. So when that little ceremony is over, we remember the ceremony, the sunrise ceremony in us is not over. So we carry that to the people who have forgotten, or confused, or distracted by it. So we just say, hey, so we're supposed to use kind words. That's what we're supposed to do. Be gentle, use kind words. We're supposed to be compassionate. That's how we do that. And that is giving life. So when my direct elder Tony Stonehawk said, "This is what you do," I said, "Okay, this is the way to walk in a good way. Use kind words from the grandfathers and the grandmothers. Listen to them, understand them, and then walk with them, and then share their love, and then share." Share those teachings, the hollow bones. Okay, so ancestors and elders. So it's really traditional that we thank those that have come before us, particularly in indigenous realms. So my direct elder, I'm a 60s group survivor. So there's a little kind of like thing here. So um, Tony Stonehawk, I met him 30 years ago. I think I was about 20 years old about that point. He is Lenny Lenape out of Delaware. So I've been sitting with him for over 30 years now. And then back in '03, I reunited with my ancestral lineage. So I was sitting with my father, Robert Cases, Lenny, and all these guys from Reggie from Fishing Lake, and a couple other places too. So that's it. Like, even though I'm Soto, most of my teachings are from grandfather Tony. So that's this kind of thing. So and the thing is, when I was talking to my father, he carried really beautiful medicine. So when I was talking to him, you know, uh, they were the same thing. They just sounded a little different, right? They're the same language, the same love, the same concept. And so that's what I do. So I love you. So one of those things is, again, everything begins with gratitude. So we thank those. I thank my father. I thank grandfather Tony. It is so important that we give the elders gratitude and thank you. You know, especially this ones that are really living the red road, right? Really living the red road. So thank you for that. Yeah, and thank you to all those other men and women around the world who carry medicine in a really good way. Yeah. Okay, circle medicine. Okay, circle medicine. No one's in front of us, no one's behind us, no one's above us, no one is below us. This is what we look like. This is a braid of sweetgrass. This is a grandmother teaching. Sweetgrass is one of the four sacred medicines. It's what we smudge with up at Fishing Lake. Um, One of the teachings are, and this is grandmother teaching. So we are intertwined and overlapping. So we have Carol, Sybil, Stargazer. I haven't seen Stargazer in a while. Oker, JD here. Kimberly Lewis and Joe. We have all these beautiful people right here intertwined and overlapping, and that's one of those concepts. So there's an illusion of separation out there. So what the sweetgrass does, what the circle medicine does, is remind us that we are all beautiful, powerful, equal. No one is above us and no one is below us, and there's no patriarchy, hierarchy here. Again, so this circle is a representation of that. I am in the service of this beautiful, beautiful circle, and very honored to do so. So sacred feminine, the life givers. We must honor, acknowledge the life givers, right? We would not be here if it weren't for the life givers, right? Right. Right. And we say this because there's confusion there. Colonial Western patriarchal world does not acknowledge the power of the life givers. And that's simply what we're doing. That's all we're doing is acknowledging beautiful, powerful, the grandmother's beautiful power. See, there's repeated teachings in here. When we note the grandmother out in Vancouver, that's part of it. She is a life giver. She is giving life. She's a grandmother and she is still giving life. Kind of connecting the dots here for you. I love you. So, when the grandmother suggests, that's what we do. That's how we do. That's when they suggest that. Yes, absolutely. Let's keep that smoke lit in remembrance and honoring and bringing those children home of the residential schools. You see, that's still giving life to not only myself, not only to this community, but back to the world. And that brings tears to my eyes. How beautiful is that? How beautiful is that? Okay. All right. Question of the day. Question of the day. Kind of forgot what it was. There's a concept of, and you know what? We're just going to, couple other questions here that I wanted to, and but we're going to kind of jump into the reading now. And so what we do is we go over these meditations here. They are brought to you on Daily Medicine, and I know you can see them backwards just because of the way it looks. So it says Daily Medicine, written by myself, and what they are is just little brief readings. These are seven grandfather teachings and medicine wheel teachings, just really basic stuff, right? But what we do here is we sit with them. As we said before, we are here to make good relations, right? So, and everything begins with the spirit. Everything begins with prayer and smudging and offering. So we've already done that. So now we have set this beautiful stage, beautiful time, beautiful place to for this meditation. And today is, we're going over Whispers from the Hollow Bone, July 3rd. So if someone could put this in the feed, that would be great. So the whole reading, not just July 3rd. Maybe somebody just put just July 3rd. Okay. So please and thank you for that. I know some of you are doing that right now. And so what we do is we will read this a couple of times, develop a general impression, and that's really important because it is a starting place, right? So like Grandfather Tony asked me, well, where do you start with? And I'm like, because I gained this format, this idea, this concept about what we're going to do online. Hey, I'm going to start doing these lives. And then he asked me directly, he said, well, how do you start? And I'm like, I don't know what you mean, Tony. So it's kind of like, the old ones, man, so the old ones realize, the elders realize everything has to have a beginning, right? A starting place. So this is what so he was asking me in no uncertain terms, where is the sunrise in this? Where is the new beginning? How do the people start? And so we came up with this. And so the general impression is, some must have been here for 30 days, 3 months, whatever that looks like. And I've been here for 30 years. So it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter how long you've been here. It doesn't matter if you've taken a drink 3 times today or 3 times yesterday. We are still all equal here. And the thing is, you matter. So your general impression, where you start from, you matter. So we ask that you share your general, hey, this is what this means. And that's just simply no right or wrong, good or bad, practicing humility, truth, and love. And that's loving ourselves. So anyway, so that's the starting point. We will read a couple of times, develop a general impression, and then we will break it down. And it's really important that we understand what we're doing, how we're doing it, and why we're doing it. And so that's the meditation. So Whispers from Hollow Bone, July 3rd. When the truth becomes more important than what you're running from, healing begins. I think that's it. I think I missed a word there. When the truth becomes more important than what you're running from, healing begins. What is your general impression? When the truth becomes more important than what you're running from, healing begins. Okay. My general impression is that there's a priority here, right? The priority, what they're suggesting, what I get is healing, right? And how do we heal? We heal from the truth, right? And what is the truth? Truth is one of the 7 sacred laws. So humility, love, truth, honesty, respect, wisdom, and courage, right? Right. Okay. So spirit, the great spirit has brought us here. Okay. So now let's start at the beginning, right? When really beautiful, really powerful, really significant. Let's not gloss over this. When? What does that mean? You see, there's what they're saying, and then there's a teaching, and then there's a teaching beyond it. So it gets really beautiful, really powerful, really deep. And let me say this, right? Right. This is a little bit in your face, right? But still, um, guys, there's no blame, there's no shame, there's no guilt. They simply say when, right? Right. 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 The Great Spirit, it says you're late, you're a fool, you're an idiot for making so many mistakes. Why are you here? It doesn't say that, right? We may say it in our heads because we bring that sickness, the blame, shame, guilt. Here, write this down. Blame, shame, and guilt is a sickness from the colonial world, right? How do we know? Because I asked my relatives on Fishing Lake First Nation if there's a word for blame, shame, or guilt. And back in the day, there wasn't. We didn't have a word for poor because it wasn't necessary, and neither was it necessary for blame, shame, guilt. Right, right. That's how we know. Right. So let's go to the first word. When. There's an elder I recently spoke to, and he's talking about this beautiful, beautiful teaching. He's Dakota, and he is. I sat in ceremony with him in Saskatchewan. When the truth becomes when. Right. Life is not a test. Life is a series of choices. Right. Right. And it's a little bit in your face, right? So we live in a series of choices, right? Right. Right. And I'm not suggesting that certain traumas and abuse were our choice. I'm not suggesting that things happen, unfortunate things happen, but it's what we do with that. That's the choice. That's the area. That's from the mark. That's what we're looking at right now. Right. Right. Choice. Right. Okay. Seems to be a fork in the road here. Right. Okay. What are we looking at? What are we looking for? Okay. There's a healing and there's a healing process here. Right. Right. The Western colonial world doesn't know how to do it. Their religions don't know how to do it. It leaves us empty, afraid, scared, alone. Right. Then the Western colonial patriarchal world, including their religion, they manipulate and control us. And so that's not in alignment with spiritual or natural law, right? Their religions are just not aligned with natural law. It's not aligned, right? Right. It can't be a hierarchy. It can't be a church. It can't be anything, right? Like if I'm looking at a guy above me, standing above me, telling me what to do, then you see it's not aligned, right? Right. Right. Okay. And that's just contrast medicine. That's not good or bad. We don't label that. We just add prayers to that. We acknowledge that place of sadness and just move on. We say no thank you. So when the circus comes down like that, we just say simply no thank you, and we slide it to the side and then proceed when. Okay, so there's a choice here, right? We've acknowledged that there's a choice when the truth. Okay. Now we've just gotten right to it. There is no hesitation here. Spirit is okay. There's a choice. Truth. Bam. Right there. Done. Finished. Okay. Good. All right. Wow. Little bit in your face. Okay. Truth. Wow. Right. Okay. Right. Cool. And let's not go to blame, shame, guilt when we're looking at our truth. A lot of us do that. Right. Right. A lot of us do point to the behaviors. Right. Right. And then, so preamble here, right? We are not bad people becoming good. Write that down here. I really need someone to write that down because in these healing circles, that's where a lot of people begin. Oh, I'm a bad person. I did this, right? No, we're wounded people. There's trauma there. So the baseline thing is there's trauma there. That's what we're healing from, right? When we heal the trauma, we heal the behaviors, right? The self-soothing, hurting, lateral violence behavior, suicidal ideation behavior. So we're not even talking about the behaviors. We're talking about traumas and how it has misaligned us from what natural and spiritual law, right? I love you. If I could give you all a big hug right now, I really would because I love you, man. I want you to live your very, very best life, man. To find the very best version of you, to find a place of value in this circle, to share your gift, to find your gifts, to offer your love in your heart to the next 7 generations. That's why we're here, right? And there's no way around it than what? The truth, right? Right. Okay. So what? So thank you, Sybil. I love you, right? I love you. I love you. I love you, right? Want the truth? Okay. Let's take a look at this. Okay. So it's one of the 7 sacred laws, right? Write that down. Write that down. When the truth is. Okay. What is your truth? Right? Okay. And the pain and suffering often is a reflection of the behavior, which is a reflection of the trauma. Okay, so let's just step back real quick. Okay, so I grew up. They stole me. They put me in orphanage. I ended up in foster care, and then I was sold to a white American family. There's a lot, and I never heard "I love you." I still never heard "I love you" from my wife. I never heard them say it once. Right? They said, "Well, lots of love. That's the closest they come," and I really rarely ever heard that. And I never heard it in like the orphanage, and I never heard it in foster care. They just don't do that. It is. We are in survival mode, right? Write that down, right? So the trauma puts us in survival, which means that we are here only surviving, right? Only doing those things that to survive, right? And that's very tragic and it's very sad, but sometimes we carry these behaviors onto places where it's no longer needed, right? So let me share a little bit of my story. So when I was little, right, when I was in the orphanage and in foster care, I can remember this voice coming to me. And whispering is the first voice I heard from the Great Spirit. First voice I can remember, it says, "The quiet ones survive," right? Because I remember little kids being muffled, right? Right. So some kids cry at night, something hurts, they got a earache, and then they got an earache, there's something hurt, and they just cry. And I remember, and there was this overwhelming fear, right? I just wanted them to shut up, to shut up, to shut up, shut up. And then the door would open, and then I would just put my head down, and then those cries would be muffled, and we would never see that kid again. That's what I saw. Right? That's what I saw. So that voice said, "The quiet ones survive." Right? So that's what it did. And so because of the violence, because of the abuse that I suffered, I ended up drinking and drugging. So that's just the behavior from the trauma, right? It's a self-soothing behavior, right? That's all that is, right? So, and when I entered into recovery, guess what I did? The quiet ones survived, right? It no longer served me, right? It no longer was in my best interest, but that's really the only thing in spirit that I knew. I said the quiet ones survived. So I entered into programs of AA and recovery, and I didn't say anything. I wouldn't do anything. And so I suffered. I continued to suffer because of that, right? I continued to suffer because I was unable to express myself and express my truth, that I was hurt, wounded, abused, and traumatized, right? Right. And that those behaviors associated with that, drinking and drugging and other behaviors, that and see, like, you see where I'm going with this. And so without the truth, so what recovery, the recovery programs taught me is, and I had really long conversations with Grandfather Tony, because then I found out that most recovery programs are based on the Bible and the 12 steps and all this. And I said, you know what? F those guys, because look what they did to me. Look what I did. Look what the Catholics, Christians, and all these people did to me, right? Blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to. And so what Grandfather Tony acknowledged that, right? But he also said, what did they introduce? We always look for the good. Here, write that down. That's the truth. That's spiritual natural law. And it's a little bit in your face. I said, well, like even though there's a lot of bad, the truth is that there's good in there. And so it took me a long time to understand that, right? It took me a long time to figure out that my adoptive family really loved me, right? Right. They weren't here to torture me. They weren't here to do that. But, I felt torture and abuse all the time. Right. That's why I had like 14 suicide attempts before 17. It was just, I didn't want to be here. Right. So some ridiculous number. It's not that high, but it just sounded like I just didn't want to be here. That was my truth. And the truth was I was unable to tell you my truth right there. Right. I love you. Right. Right. So we come from trauma. Trauma is one of the hallmarks of trauma is being unable to express ourselves, right? So that's a survival mode thing, just like my story, right? So what AA did was it introduced me to the truth, being able to verbalize my truth, right? Right. Right. One of the first things I said in those programs was my name. I didn't want to tell you. I didn't want to tell you my name. That's how hurt and wounded I was. Right. That was a survival mode thing for me. I wasn't going to express myself, right? Because when I express myself, that opened myself up to vulnerability, right? And again, this is so my path and your path are very, very similar, right? So it may look a little different, but really, this is what that is, right? And in my case, it's like a little severe. It's probably not as bad as some of yours, right? But, I do this to help you identify with some of the things that happens in the circle, the circle of before we get to this thing called healing. So truth is an intimate part of our healing. And so when I started to entertain to walk with the truth, and that really begins by just saying my name. And so what do we do at the beginning of this circle? I said, I invite you to general impression, right? Initial impression, right? Your starting point, right? That was a place of humility, but that was a place of your truth, right? That's why we do that. So everything mirrors each other. So I was. So if you feel like it, you just type in, this is what this means. So when the truth becomes more important than what you're running from, healing begins. Okay, what is your general impression? That's part of expressing your truth. Some of you just won't do it, and that's fine. Some of you will, and be like, oh, okay, that's okay. Yeah, that's what, and that's okay. But the more we are willing to express that truth, right? Step out of that comfort zone, right? Because that comfort zone is silent, especially for the men out there. We just had a men's circle, so the men really know how to suffer in silence. When you ask a man what's happening, he says, okay, there's so much more. There's heartbreaking things going on in his life, right? This is just heartbreaking. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, I'll be all right. Kind of, well, I've been crying inside, wanting suicidal things, and just like kind of like, but I say, hey, what's going on? Yeah, I'm okay, man. Don't worry. Yeah. Right. 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 So this is what grandfather told me. This is what's so important. And this is also part of the truth. I went to grandfather Tony. He like he was that one guy, right? Right. And hopefully everybody finds a grandfather Tony. Like maybe I can be that expression for you from him, right? Kind of part of that same circle, right? But grandfather Tony said, always look for the good, right? Write that down. That is spiritual natural law right there. It's not something we do sometimes. It's a way of life, right? So when I had to look at these colonial patriarchal, recovery programs, right? He said, well, it's Bible based. I don't like. I was a racist when I got here. I didn't like the Christians, and especially like white male Christians. I like because they were the people that done all the abuse to me, right? And so there was a place in my heart that wasn't a good place for him, right? It was a really angry place, right? So anyway, so grandfather Tony said, what did over 12 steps. So what did the 12 steps do for you? And so I really thought about it and talked about this, right? Sometimes the colonial world trips over like the good stuff. And this is where they trip it over, right? Like a broken, like the colonial world is this, like a broken clock, they're right twice a day. They just happen to be right. They trip over it. They didn't do it on purpose. And they definitely didn't do it for the benefit of the circle, because that's what they don't do. But what they do, they just happen to get it right. So the truth, they started, so they started to bring me closer to the truth. Right? Who are you? What have you been doing? It's a little bit of a shame-based thing, right? Because you talk about the behaviors, but you don't talk about the traumas, right? Right, right. As much as the behaviors, right, right. So the drinking is the last part of the behavior, yeah. So we're angry, and then we do self-soothing, and then we drink, and then we do drugs, and then do all that stuff. So, and what happened was, I was able to express my truth, to uncover the trauma of what happened to me. Right? And then I was able to take that, and that didn't feel good. So let's acknowledge this. It's okay not to be okay, right? It's okay not to be okay. Right? That's the truth. We don't have to be okay during this process, right? That is natural law. There's suffering, there's mourning, there's loss, right? We acknowledge this, right? That's the truth, right? And because there's suffering, there's loss, there's feelings there, there's emotions there. That's part of the truth. That's like the birthing process. It's a really painful process. I've been through it. I don't know if you've been through it. I've been through it. So it's a really painful process, going from that beautiful, lovely, little warm little place and out into this circus that we live in, right? The colonial patriarchy, circus, that ridiculous world, right? So it's a painful process, right? Right. And that's part of the truth too. It's healing is often very painful, right? Moving through something, and really, we are so caught up in our comfort zone, we won't step out of our truth, right? We won't step in. We won't step out of our comfort zone and into the truth. That's what I meant, right? Okay, so God, I'm running out of time again. Okay, so when the truth, okay, what is the truth in indigenous spiritual terms? Okay, so we're talking about the turtle, right? We're talking about the turtle. The turtle doesn't live in his shell. The shell, it is part of the turtle, right? That's the truth, right? So we don't live on Mother Earth. We are Mother Earth, right? We don't live in the shell. We are our shell, right? Right. And that's, so the turtle is slow and methodical. It is grounded to Mother Earth. It can go in the oceans, it can go in water, it can go on the land, right? It is protected from above, right? It has a heart shell. It knows where to go to feel safe and protected. Do you know where to go when, so it goes in, to be in that place, right? And what is that for us? Mother Earth, right? So we have to, that's the truth, go to Mother Earth, right? What is Mother Earth? The sacred feminine, right? That's the truth. What did we talk about earlier, right? The power of the sacred feminine. We don't do that as like a rote routine. We do it as a way of life and learning how to live in a good way. And the truth is, we can't live without the sacred feminine, without that beautiful relationship. And I'm not just talking about a spouse or a partner. I'm talking about the spiritual Mother Earth, right? That is our first relationship, right? So we don't put our family, we don't put that in front of. It can be a part of, but not in front of, right? Right. Like the circle medicine. No one's in front of us, no one's behind us, no one's above us, no one's below us, and we often we are out of balance because we put that one person, that one place, that one thing in front of the circle. So that is most important. Is a car, job, money, whatever it is, and that inevitably turns into sad, loneliness, depression because that person, that thing, that job, that money, that comes and goes, right? But the one thing that doesn't go is Mother Earth, that nurturing influence that gives us life. Write that down. I love you. Right? That's the truth. Right? The truth is unwavering. The truth doesn't negotiate. Mother Earth does not negotiate, right? She gives us everything for free. The only thing that we ask her, that she asks us, is to protect her, to honor her, to love her. That is that beautiful, beautiful place. No, 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 no. I love you. We're running out of time here. I can't run out. I think we started a little late. Okay, when the truth, total medicine, slow, methodical, close to Mother Earth, close to the sacred feminine. Those are all spiritual and natural laws, right? Right, staying close and grounded, right? Sometimes we forget because we live in a world of distraction, all these things, and that distract us. Okay, becomes more important when the truth. Okay, so there's a priority here, right? They're telling us what to do and how to do once we made that decision, right? A decision is followed up immediately by action, right? So there's a decision, right? When the truth, the truth is what? Here, write this down. The truth is an action, right? It's not just a concept or theory, it's a way of life, right? Here, that's natural law, right? So we start living the ways of earth, living the ways of being protected by the things that give us life, the sacred feminine, fire, water, air, and earth. These are the things that bring us life. So how do we build a connection with that? Well, we build a good relationship. As we said before, we are here to build good relations, both seen and unseen, right? So there's a spirit in the water. We understand that it's there to protect us, to honor, not only to give us life, but to offer life as well. So the truth is we are not to take life and be selfish with our life, and our life is only about ourselves. We are here to honor and offer that to other people. We can't live a good life without honoring others. Right? And we live in a world of selfishness. Well, now is not fast enough. It's all mine. It's I don't have time to think about you. That's what that Western patriarchy world says, right? I just don't have time for you. But over here in spiritual realms, I have all the time for you. That means I will love you and honor you. That means we're always in ceremony, right? So, it gives us the ability, the truth gives us the ability to live without regret, gives us the ability to live without blame, shame, or guilt, right? Write that down. That's a really beautiful thing. If that's all that I ever did was to live without blame, shame, or guilt, then I would live a really good, beautiful, powerful life. But the fact is, I do it now because I have living my truth. So, and the truth is that we are in ceremony all the time. When this ceremony is over, the ceremony, what inside you, in you does not end. So we take what we lived here, learned here, loved here, and listened to here, and we take it out there. We put it here to take it out there. That's the truth right there. Right? That's the truth. Right? And the truth is, and again, I'm putting 4 hours in about 3 minutes, so I'm trying to do that. So, so the truth is that we are to be students of these not ceremony laws, these ways of life laws. Again, okay, ceremony life laws work. So natural laws, universal laws, sacred laws. So again, so the basics, so the natural laws are humility, and the reason why I taught humility first is because Pops told me I can't go anywhere without it, right? And I'm like, okay. So that's my teaching. If you're teaching a little different, that's okay. So humility, love, truth, honesty, respect, wisdom, and courage, right? So the truth is able to understand all these, right? To understand and to walk with all these. And if we don't understand or walk with all these, then how much of the truth do we really know, right? Right. Right. The truth is humility. The truth is love. The truth is courage. Can you and the truth? Can you walk in courage? Can you walk in love? Can you do all these things? Right? Right. That is the journey. And this is not a place of blame, shame, guilt. This is just, we have to understand this is a process and a journey. Right. Oh, takeaway, Sybil. I love you. Thank you, Sybil. So what is your takeaway today? What are you going to share with the world today? But besides sharing what we have done here, right? Hit that share button. Besides what we have done here, what are you going to take out there, right? That's the most important thing. Are you able and willing to begin to continue to step out of your comfort zone and start telling your truth? And so, talk about this. So, we had a monumental breakthrough here yesterday. So, the men's group, the boys and men sit with the grandfathers. The girls and women sit with the grandmothers, because that is a place of safety. So, and not to say they completely separate, but there's separate issues there, right? There's separate teachings there, right? Female teachings and male teachings, they're just separate. And like, we don't know how to be good men, then how are we going to treat our women? That's the truth. And the same thing with women. If you don't know how to be a good woman, then how are you ever going to have a good relationship? People want the relationship before they learn how to be a good partner. And I mean a good partner. I mean a good partner with the truth, with honesty, with love, with respect, right? A good relationship with Mother Earth, a good relationship with the ancestors, and a good relationship with the next 7 generations. Like, if we don't have a good prayer life with the next 7 generations, that's part of your truth, right? What does that look like? What are you doing? Because when you remember them, you remember how important and what you're offering yourself and to them, right? It brings the world together. That's true and natural law. I love you. I love you. Right. People want the family, the dog, the house before they want a decent relationship with the truth, humility, love, honesty, respect, wisdom, and courage. Right? It doesn't happen. That's why the world fails. Right? The world is failing. Right? But what we do here is we share the love, we share the truth, we share grandfather's tongue, we share what has been offered to us as an indigenous male, and this is my truth. To help restore, to bring life to the family, right? Right, to help protect, right? This is the way that we protect, to walk with natural law. We can't protect ourselves without it. That means we don't have any boundaries. That means we'll date people with red flags because we think that's what a relationship is. That's the only relationship we have. No, every time we step out the door, there's a million relations there. There's millions of family members that are there. But we think it's just one. We think of our spouse, our girlfriend, our boyfriend, well, husband, whatever. Lovers, maybe. I don't know. So, that's further on. That's further on down the line. We can't have a healthy relationship with them until we have a good relationship with us, with me. We bloom from the inside, right? Talked about that yesterday. So how do we bloom from the inside? Well, that's part of our truth. Okay, right. Our relationship with the truth, our relationship with Mother Earth. And again, it's repeating, overlapping, and intertwined. I love you. I have completely run out of time because I got to run out of here. But anyway, if no one said that they love you today, I love you very much. Right? So what is your takeaway? What are you going to take away? Right? What are you going to share? What are you not going to share? Are you going to step out of your comfort zone? And a comfort zone is a place that keeps us sick, and that you can write down. That's part of our truth. Right? I wish I could give you all a big, huge hug. I love you. Okay. Okay. Once again, the final word is this ceremony may end, but the ceremony in you does not end. So let's take what we lived here, learned here, loved here, and listened to here, and take it out to the four winds. Take it here. When you take it here, it will go out there. If it doesn't go here, it won't go out there. It won't go out to those places that really need to hear. And they really need to hear you speak, to be the lifeblood, to be the peacemakers. The world is running out of peacemakers. So let's become. We are changing that narrative every second that we are here. We are changing that beautiful, beautiful narrative. This ceremony may end, but a ceremony in you does not end. So let's take it out there. My name is Kanipa with Macwa, Standing Bear. And if no one said that they love you today, I love you very much. Let's have a great day.